My girlfriend said at dinner, "I'm not in love with you." Yet she still expected weekly flowers, romantic dates, and my money while treating me like a roommate. But when I asked to split the bills, she completely broke down. She slid her laptop toward me, eyes glossy, and the headline stared back like a dare. 10 ways to test if your partner really loves you. In that moment, I knew her confession wasn't confusion, it was choreography. The cold takeout, the late-night honesty, the sudden distance. None of it was an accident. It was a script, and I decided I would stop acting. My name's Jack, 29 years old, and I have been with Sophia, 27, for 2.5 years. We have been living together for the last year in my downtown apartment. Everything seemed normal until last Sunday night, when she decided we needed to have an honest conversation about our relationship. We had just had dinner, Thai takeout that we shared while watching Netflix. She had been quiet all night, which was not unusual, but there was something different about her energy. Finally, she muted the television and turned to look at me on the couch. "Jack, I need to tell you something, and I want you to know that it comes from a place of love and respect." I put down my beer. "Okay, what is up?" She took a deep breath. "I have been thinking a lot about us, about where we are headed. I see our friends getting engaged, talking about marriage, and I realize that I need to be completely honest with you about my feelings." My stomach tightened a little, but I kept my expression neutral. "I'm listening. I care about you so much. You are my best friend, my partner, and everything. But, Jack, I'm not in love with you. I love you deeply as a person, but I'm not in love with you. Does that make sense?" I sat there, processing it for a moment. The words hung in the air between us like a confession that changed everything. "Are you saying you want to break up?" I asked. "No. God, no. It is not about that at all. I love our life together. You make me laugh. You are reliable. You are kind. We have a very good thing. I just wanted to be honest about the romantic feelings part. I thought you deserved to know the truth instead of me pretending." I nodded slowly. "Thank you for being honest. I appreciate you telling me the truth instead of pretending." She seemed relieved, as if she had been carrying that weight for months. "I'm so glad you understand. I was worried you would get angry." "I'm not angry," I said, and I meant it. "I would rather know how you really feel than live in a fantasy." She smiled and leaned over to hug me. "This is why I love you, Jack. You are so mature about everything." We went to bed that night as if nothing had happened. She snuggled up next to me, and I stared at the ceiling, thinking about what she had said. She was not in love with me. Okay, that was really useful information. If she was not in love with me, then, logically, I should probably stop acting like someone who was in love with her. It made perfect sense. On Monday morning, everything changed. I woke up first, as always, and went through my usual routine. Normally, I would wake Sophia up with a kiss and tell her I loved her before I left for work. Instead, I got dressed in silence and left a note. Left early for work. Have a great day. At the office, I called Blue and Petal, the florist where I had a standing weekly order for 1.5 years. Every Friday, they delivered a small bouquet to Sophia's office. Nothing expensive, just $25 worth of seasonal flowers to brighten her week. "Hi, this is Jack Morrison. I need to cancel my weekly delivery service." "Oh no. Is everything okay?" Your girlfriend seemed to love receiving those flowers." "Yeah, well, she is not really my girlfriend anymore. She is more like a roommate I'm fond of, so the flowers don't really make much sense anymore." I hung up, feeling strangely liberated. $25 a week added up to over $1,000 a year. It was a lot of money to spend on flowers for someone who was not in love with me. Throughout the day, I caught myself about to send Sophia messages with random thoughts or funny memes, as I used to do. Each time, I stopped myself. Those small, constant contacts, the "I'm thinking of you" messages, the pictures of cute dogs I saw on my lunch walk, were boyfriend behaviors. If we were now just very good friends who happened to live together, I needed to adjust accordingly. When I got home that night, Sophia was cooking. She had made my favorite pasta dish and had a bottle of wine open. She smiled when I walked in, expecting our usual greeting kiss. Instead, I gave her a friendly hug. "It smells great in here," I said. "I thought I would make something special, since we had such a good conversation last night." She handed me a glass of wine. "How was your day?" "Good. Well, typical for a Monday." I sat at the kitchen counter instead of standing behind her and wrapping my arms around her waist while she cooked, which had been our routine for 2 years. She glanced at me, clearly expecting more details, more engagement. Since I did not elaborate, she filled the silence. Well, I had the weirdest day. My boss was in one of his moods again, and I listened politely as she told me about her day, the same way I would listen to any friend. When she finished cooking, we ate together and had a pleasant conversation about work and plans for the weekend. After dinner, we went to the living room to watch TV. Normally, this was prime cuddle time. Sophia would snuggle up next to me. I would stroke her hair, maybe give her a foot massage during the commercials. Instead, I sat in the armchair across from the sofa. "Why are you sitting over there?" she asked, patting the spot next to her. "I just felt like a change," I said, getting comfortable with the remote. She seemed confused, but did not press the issue. We watched a couple of episodes of a show we were following, and when she yawned around 10, I said, "I'm going to stay up a little longer." "Sleep well." We usually went to bed together. I would brush my teeth while she did her skincare routine, and we would talk about little things until we fell asleep. That night, I let her go to bed alone. When I finally got to bed an hour later, she was already asleep. I slipped into bed quietly, without waking her for our usual goodnight kiss. Tuesday morning. Sophia seemed to expect things to go back to normal. She came into the kitchen while I was making coffee, wearing just one of my t-shirts, expecting the morning affection. I smiled at her and handed her a mug. "Thanks," she said, clearly expecting something more. "You are welcome, I made extra." I finished my coffee, grabbed my laptop bag, and headed for the door. "Is that it?" she called out from behind me. I turned around. "What do you mean? You were just leaving. I have to go to work as always." "But you did not." She made a vague gesture towards herself. I tilted my head, genuinely confused. "I did not what?" She seemed flustered. "Never mind. Have a good day." "You too." That afternoon, I went through our apartment methodically. In the back of my closet, I had a small collection of gifts I had bought for Sophia over the months. Things I saw that reminded me of her. Little surprises I had been saving for the right moment. A book by her favorite author that would not be released for another 2 months. A vintage t-shirt from a band she had mentioned she loved in college. A beautiful journal I had found at a craft fair. I gathered them all and put them in a box. The unreleased book I could probably return. The t-shirt and the journal I would donate. They were gifts from a boyfriend to his girlfriend. Since I was no longer her boyfriend, it felt inappropriate to keep them. Sophia found me in the bedroom with the box. "What is all that?" she asked. "Just some things I was saving for special occasions. Since we are not in a romantic relationship anymore, I thought I should get them out of the way." She peered into the box and saw the book. "Oh my God, is that the new Sarah Chin novel? It does not come out until December." "Yeah, I have a contact at the publishing house. I pre-ordered it months ago." "For me?" "Well, for my girlfriend, but you mentioned you were not in love with me, so now we are more like friends. It seems weird to give romantic gifts to a friend." Her face went through several expressions. "Jack, when I said I was not in love with you, I did not mean." "What did you mean?" She struggled to find the words. "I meant I wanted us to be honest with each other, not that I wanted you to completely change how you treat me." "But this is being honest," I said. "Romantic gestures are for romantic relationships. We are not in one of those anymore, so I'm adjusting accordingly. It is more respectful this way." Wednesday was our date night. For the past 2 years, we had had a standing dinner date on Wednesdays, alternating who chose the restaurant. It was Sophia's turn, and she had made a reservation at Marcella's, that cozy Italian restaurant we both loved. At work, I sent a message to our friends, Tom and Lisa. "Hey, do you guys want to join Sophia and me for dinner tonight? Marcella's at 7-inch. When I got home, Sophia was getting ready. She was wearing the black dress I told her looked incredible on her. The perfume I bought her for her birthday. "Ready for dinner?" she asked, clearly hoping this would feel like the old days. "Yeah, Tom and Lisa should meet us there in about 20 minutes. She froze. "Tom and Lisa? Why? I thought it would be fun to hang out with friends, make it more of a group thing. But it is our date night." I looked at her, genuinely confused. "Is it? I mean, friends go to dinner all the time. I did not realize you considered it a date. We have been having a date night for 2 years, Jack. When we were a couple. Now we are just friends who live together. Friends have dinner together, but usually in a group, right?" She stared at me for a long moment. "Fine, whatever. Let's go." The dinner was perfectly pleasant. Tom and Lisa were great company, and we all laughed and shared stories. When the bill came, I did what I always did in a group. I split it 4 ways. Before, on our date nights, I would usually pay for Sophia and myself. It will be $18 each, I said, pulling out my card. Sophia gave me a strange look. Since when do we split the bill? Since we started going out as friends instead of as a couple, I said naturally. That is how it works when friends go to dinner. Tom and Lisa exchanged a look, but did not comment. They took out their cards, and we all paid our share. On the way home, Sophia was quiet. Everything okay? I asked. This all feels weird, Jack. What does? You are treating me like. What? Like we are strangers. Not like strangers, like friends. What is it you said you wanted? You don't love me as a person, but you are not in love with me. That is friendship. She did not answer, just looked out the window. On Thursday night, Sophia came home from work, obviously stressed. She had had a terrible day. Her boss had criticized a project she had worked on for weeks. A client had been rude to her, and her car was making strange noises. For the past 2.5 years, this would have been my cue to go into full boyfriend mode. I would listen to every detail, offer solutions, draw her a bath, order her favorite comfort food, give her a massage, do whatever it took to make her feel better. Instead, I listened to her politely as she vented. I said, "That sounds really frustrating." And I went back to reading my book. She stood in the living room doorway for a moment, clearly expecting something more. "Are you not going to?" she started. "Do what?" "I don't know. Ask me more about it. Help me decide what to do." I looked up from my book. "Do you want advice?" "I mean, with the boss thing, you could probably talk to HR." And so on. "And with the car, Jim's garage on 5th Street has a good reputation. Tom recommended it to me." "That is it. What else would you like me to say?" She seemed frustrated. "Nothing, forget it." She went to take a shower, and I heard her crying in there. A part of me wanted to go and comfort her, but that would be crossing the boundaries she had set. If we were just friends, then her emotional regulation was her responsibility, not mine. Friday brought the acid test. Sophia worked late, and when she got home around 8, she seemed to be expecting her usual Friday flowers to be waiting for her. They were not, of course, because I had canceled the order. "No flowers today?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "Oh, right, I canceled that order." It did not seem appropriate anymore. "Why not?" "Well, I sent flowers to my girlfriend's office. Since you are not really my girlfriend anymore, I thought it might give people the wrong idea. I work with the same people I have worked with for 2 years, Jack. They know we are together." "Are we together? I thought we were friends who lived together." She opened and closed her mouth several times. We are something. We have been together for 2.5 years. We are together. Past tense. Now we are friends." That weekend, everything came to a head. Sophia spent Saturday morning clearly trying to recreate our old dynamic. She made breakfast, my favorite blueberry pancakes that she usually only made for special occasions. She was wearing my favorite t-shirt of hers. She suggested we go to the farmer's market, something we used to do as a couple. "Do you want to make it a group thing?" I asked. "I bet Tom and Lisa would love to go." "No, Jack, I want to go alone with you." "Okay, but as friends, right? I don't want there to be any confusion about what this is." She looked hurt. "Why are you being like this?" "Like what?" "So distant, cold." I put down my fork. "Sophia, I'm not being cold. I'm being appropriate. You told me you were not in love with me. That is fine, but it means our relationship has changed. I'm treating you the way I treat my other friends, because that is what we are now. But you still care about me. I care about you as a friend too." "This is not what I wanted," she said quietly. "What did you want?" She was quiet for a long moment. "I wanted honesty between us." "This is honesty. I'm being completely honest about what I'm willing to give to someone who is not in love with me." That afternoon, she tried a different approach. She suggested we go see a movie, just the two of us. I agreed, and we went to the theater. But instead of our usual routine, sharing popcorn, holding hands, cuddling during the movie, I bought my own snacks and sat normally in my seat. During a particularly romantic scene, I felt her hand reach for mine. I gave it a friendly squeeze and then let go, the same way I would with any platonic friend. On the way home, she finally exploded. "What is wrong with you?" she shouted. "You are acting like you don't even know me." I pulled over and put the car in neutral. "Sophia, I'm confused. What exactly do you want from me?" "I want you to act like yourself. This is me. This is how I act with people who are not in love with me. But I never said I wanted you to stop caring about me. I have not stopped caring about you. I care about you the same way I care about all my friends. That is not enough." The words burst out of her before she could stop them. We were silent for a moment. Not enough for what? I asked gently. She started to cry. I don't know. I just miss the way things were. Do you miss me acting like I'm in love with you? Yes, even if you are not in love with me. She cried harder. It is complicated. It is not complicated, Sophia. Do you want me to give you all the benefits of being loved without actually loving me in return? That is not friendship. That is not fair. On Sunday night, we had another conversation. Sophia sat me down in the living room, having clearly prepared what she wanted to say. Jack, I think we need to talk about what happened last weekend. Okay, when I told you I was not in love with you, I was trying to be honest about a confusing time in my life. I felt overwhelmed by how serious things were getting between us, and I got scared. I nodded, listening. But now I realize that what I said hurt you, and you are distancing yourself to protect yourself. I'm not distancing myself. I'm just being appropriate. This is not appropriate, Jack. This is you shutting down. I thought about that. Let me ask you something. Do you want me to start buying you flowers every week again? Yes. Do you want me to plan romantic date nights? Yes. Do you want me to be your emotional support system when you have bad days? Yes. Do you want me to give you back rubs and wake you up with kisses and send you messages throughout the day to tell you I'm thinking of you? Yes, of course. And in return, will you still not be in love with me? She was quiet. That is what I thought. Do you want all the actions of love without any of the feelings? Do you want me to act out love for you while you give me friendship in return? It is not. Yes, it is. You have been very clear that you want me as a friend, so I'm treating you like a friend. The fact that you don't like it should tell you something. Monday brought a new development. I got to work and found a message from Sophia. Emergency. I need to talk. I called her during my lunch break. What is the emergency? I have been thinking all morning, and I have realized something important. I think I was wrong about my feelings. Okay, I think I'm in love with you. I was just scared and confused, but seeing how you have been acting this week has made me realize how much you mean to me. I was quiet for a moment. How convenient. What do you mean? I mean, you realize you love me right after experiencing what it is like when I don't act like I love you. It is not. It is not about that. No. When I was bringing you flowers and planning dates and being your emotional support system, you were not in love with me. But as soon as I stopped doing those things, you suddenly realized you loved me. Jack, please, can we go back to how things were? Were you lying when you said you were not in love with me? No, I was not lying. I was confused. Are you lying now when you say you are in love with me? No, I'm not lying now either. So your feelings changed completely in the span of 5 days. She was quiet. Oh, I continued. You realized what you were losing and decided you wanted it back. Why can you not just believe that I have clarified my feelings? Because people don't fall in love with someone who treats them like a friend, Sophia. People fall in love with someone who treats them like they are special. The only thing that changed this week was my behavior, not your feelings. That night she tried to initiate physical intimacy for the first time since our conversation. I gently rejected her. Why? She asked. Because I'm not comfortable being intimate with someone who is not in love with me. But I just told you I'm in love with you. You told me after I stopped acting like I loved you. It feels reactive, not authentic. So what do you want from me? I want you to figure out what you really feel without the influence of what you are getting or not getting from me. On Tuesday, I came home to find that Sophia had prepared an elaborate dinner. Candles, wine, my favorite playlist, the whole setup. What is all this? I wanted to show you how I feel, she said. I wanted to prepare a romantic evening for us. That is a very nice gesture, I said. But you should probably pay me back for half of the groceries. Her face fell. You want me to split the cost of a romantic dinner I made for you? Well, if we are friends, then yes. That is how friends handle shared meals. We are not friends, Jack. We are together. Are we? Based on what? Based on 2.5 years together. Those 2.5 years were when you were pretending to be in love with me. Now that we are being honest, what exactly is our relationship based on? She started crying again. On Wednesday, I got a call at work from Sophia's sister. Emma, hi. Jack, Sophia asked me to call you. Oh, hi, Emma, what is up? She is very upset about what has been happening between you two. She says you are being cold and distant since she opened up about her feelings. Did she tell you what she opened up about? She said she was going through a confusing time and told you she needed space to figure things out. And now you are punishing her for being honest. That is an interesting interpretation. What she actually said was that she was not in love with me, but that she wanted to keep our living situation and our relationship the same. Silence from Emma. She told you she was not in love with you. Her exact words were, "I love you as a person, but I'm not in love with you." And she expected you to just keep being her boyfriend. Apparently, Emma completed. Jack, I'm sorry she put you in this position, and I'm sorry she asked me to call without giving me the full story. It is okay. I understand she is upset. Are you okay? Yes, in fact, I'm clearer about things than I have been in a long time. Thursday brought the nuclear option. I came home to find my parents sitting in my living room with Sophia, who looked like she had been crying. Hi, Mom, Dad, I said, surprised. What are you guys doing here? My mother stood up and hugged me. Sophia called us. She is worried about you. I looked at Sophia, who would not meet my gaze. Worried about me? She says you have been acting strangely lately, distancing yourself from everyone, and she is worried about your mental health. I sat down across from them. What exactly did she tell you? My father cleared his throat. She said you have been cold and distant since she tried to have an honest conversation with you about the relationship. Did she mention what that conversation was about? She said she was trying to work through some feelings about commitment and that you have been punishing her for being vulnerable. I took out my phone and opened my notes app, where I had been documenting important conversations since this all started. Let me read you what she actually said. I found the entry from that Sunday night. She said, I quote, "I'm not in love with you. I love you as a person, but I'm not in love with you." Then she said she wanted to keep our living situation and our relationship exactly the same, just without the romantic feelings on her part. My parents looked at Sophia, who had turned pale. Is that correct? My mother asked her. Sophia nodded reluctantly. My father, who is usually pretty quiet, looked at Sophia with confusion. You told him you don't love him romantically, but you are upset that he is not being romantic with you. It is more complicated than that, Sophia said. How? My mother asked. I was just trying to be honest about a confusing time. By telling him you are not in love with him, my father interrupted. And now you are calling us because he is treating you like someone who is not in love with him. Sophia started crying again. My mother turned to me. Jack, you are punishing her. I showed them my recent bank statements on my phone. For the past 2 years, I have been covering about 70% of our shared expenses. Dinners, entertainment, her flowers every week, gifts, everything. Since she told me she was not in love with me, I have been splitting things 50-50, like friends do. I swiped through the numbers. I'm not punishing her. I'm just no longer subsidizing her lifestyle. My father chuckled. Good for you, son. Sophia looked shocked. How can you say that? Because, my mother said gently, you cannot have it all, sweetie. You cannot tell someone you don't love them and then expect them to keep treating you like you do. After my parents left, Sophia was furious. I cannot believe you embarrassed me like that in front of your parents. I did not embarrass you. I told them the truth. You made me look like a gold digger. I showed them the facts. You can draw your own conclusions about how that makes you look. Friday was when everything finally came out. Sophia had been quiet all day, and when I got home from work, she was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open. We need to talk, she said. I sat down across from her. I owe you an apology, she began, and an explanation. I waited. A few weeks ago, I read this article online about how to know if your relationship is real. It said that comfortable relationships sometimes lack passion, and that one way to test if your partner really loves you is to create a crisis and see how they react. My stomach churned. Go on. The article said that if you tell your partner you are not sure about your feelings, someone who really loves you will fight for the relationship. They will try harder, be more romantic, prove their love. And someone who does not really love you will give up easily. She looked miserable. I thought if I told you I was not in love with you, you would prove how much you loved me by trying harder. I leaned back in my chair. So you were testing me. I was testing the relationship. I wanted to see if what we had was real or just comfortable. By lying to me about your feelings. I was not lying exactly. I was confused and I wanted to see. You were following a script from an internet article designed to manipulate me into performing love. She was crying now. I realize how horrible that sounds. Show me the article. What? Show me the article. You said you read it a few weeks ago. It should be in your browser history. Reluctantly, she turned her laptop. The article was titled, 10 Ways to Test If Your Partner Really Loves You. I scrolled through it, recognizing the strategy she had used. Number 7. create emotional distance, and see if they fight to close the gap. Were you planning on using the other 9 methods too? No, I just read this one and I thought. You thought you would manipulate me into proving my love instead of just trusting it. I'm sorry, Jack. I realize now how stupid it was. It was not stupid, Sophia. It was cruel. We were silent for a few minutes. Can you forgive me? She finally asked. I don't know. Can we try again? Start fresh. Start fresh based on what? How do I know you will not test me again the next time you feel insecure? I will not. I promise. You also promised to love me when we first started dating. I do love you. You love what I do for you. That is different. On Saturday, Sophia spent the day packing. She had finally accepted that I was not going back to the old dynamic and decided to move in with her friend Chloe temporarily. Is this really what you want? She asked as she folded her clothes. I want to be in a relationship with someone who does not need to test my love to believe in it. But we have been together for over 2 years. We have been in a relationship where I loved you and you enjoyed being loved. That is not the same as loving each other. I do love you, Jack. You love the security of being loved, but you have never really been in love with me, have you? She was quiet for a long time. I don't know, she finally admitted. I thought I was, but maybe I just liked how you treated me. At least that is honest. On Sunday night, she finished packing. Most of her things fit in her car, with only a few boxes to come back for later. I keep thinking about what could have been, she said as she loaded the last suitcase. What could have been is you trusting what we had instead of testing it. Do you think we will ever? No, I said gently. I need to be with someone who wants to love me, not someone who wants to be loved by me. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I really messed everything up, did not I? You made a choice. We both have to live with it. After she left, I walked through the apartment. It felt different, lighter somehow. For the first time in months, I was not wondering if I was doing enough, being enough, loving enough. I was not walking on eggshells around someone's feelings or trying to prove my worth. I ordered pizza from my favorite place, the one Sophia never liked. I watched a movie she would have hated. I called my friend Marcus and made plans to go hiking next weekend, something I had stopped doing because Sophia always had other plans for us. It has been 2 weeks since she moved out. Yesterday, she sent me a text message. I miss you. I miss us. Can we talk? I did not reply right away. Instead, I thought about what I had learned about myself in this whole mess. I had spent 2.5 years trying to love someone enough for both of us. I had been so focused on being the perfect boyfriend that I had forgotten to notice that I was the only one really trying. The apartment is quieter now, but it is a peaceful quiet. I wake up without the anxiety of whether I'm doing enough. I go to bed without wondering if I said the right things. I'm not walking on eggshells or managing someone else's emotions or trying to prove my worth every day. I have started that photography class I have been putting off. Sophia always said it was a waste of money, but it turns out I love it. I have been going to the gym consistently for the first time in years. I have been hanging out with friends without having to check in every hour or rush home to handle some crisis. My bank account is healthier too. I did the numbers. I was spending almost $900 a month on relationship maintenance, dinners, gifts, activities, covering her shortfalls when money was tight. That is almost $11,000 a year I was investing in someone who was not investing in me. This morning I finally replied to her message. I hope you figure out what you are really looking for, but I'm not interested in being tested again. I want to be with someone who is sure of me, not someone who needs me to prove myself. She replied immediately. I'm sure of you now. I know what I lost. You know what you lost? I replied. That is different from knowing what you want. 3 months later, I'm dating someone new. Her name is Rachel, and she lights up when she sees me. She says, I love you, as if she really means it and cannot wait to say it. It would never occur to her to test my feelings because she is too busy appreciating them. Sophia sent me a message last week asking if I ever think about us getting back together. I don't. I'm too busy being loved by someone who actually wants to love me back. The funny thing is, I'm grateful to Sophia now. Her test revealed the truth. Not about whether I loved her, but about whether she loved me. The answer was clear the moment she expected me to keep performing love while she withheld it. Some people want to be loved, others want to love. The lucky ones find someone who wants both. I'm going to wait to be that lucky. Dear listeners, please share your opinions in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.